North Bulldogs are looking forward to a trip to Austin later this week as Coach Matt Bilyeu joins us now. And Matt, your team wins a district title for the third time in 4 years. You place second in a region dominated by Lancaster. How do you sum up this season that's been full of accolades so far?
Right. Well, you know, the best word I could describe it would be just perseverance. We from the very beginning of the year, we had guys that we didn't know if they were going to be JV varsity type guys. We had some guys that got hurt that were off our team for whatever reason, and we just continually had guys step up. And it was one of those years. It was kind of took a long time to develop. We didn't know what we had, didn't know what we had, didn't know what we had until the end, and we realized that we were going to be pretty good. And if we could go to the district meet, regional meet, and perform, we would be successful. And that's kind of how it stacked up.
Your team wins that district championship
Yes,
at Rockwall after a second-place finish a year ago. You did it with 18 athletes, lots of overlap in events. How did you keep them fresh over 2 days?
Well, it's scary. We go to some meets prior in the year to get us ready for that, some back-to-back meets. But you never know, because you take a guy like Mark Bresnahan, who had never done the 4-8 and mile relay in that year, and he's running those three races pretty back-to-back, you know, and we're in there with a district that's got some more kids than us, and you know, it's not an excuse, but we had some guys that were definitely going to sleep well after the meet, but it worked out. You know, everybody that we took, 18 kids, I think most of them had their full allotment of events. They were in for at least 3, most of them 5 events. So.
And after that district title, a second-place finish at regional behind Lancaster, which one going away, as many would have expected. Right. But the depth of District 10 4A shined through. You were at the top of the heap, second ahead of Pierce in third, Wiley East in fourth, and then McKinney High in 10th. It's almost as if District 10 4A is a region preview. It helped prepare you for what was to come.
There's no question about it. Our district the last 2 years has been top of the line. I mean, it's been one of the best districts in 4A those 2 years. You know, we were third in the 4x2, to give you an example, third in the 4x2 at district and fifth in regionals. You know, our district heat in the mile relay was, it was a perfect tune-up for the regionals. The hurdle race is incredible. You know, especially in those sprint events and the field events, our district stacked up with anybody, and a lot of 5A teams too. I mean, it was just very, very tough district.
And with that second-place finish, you look back at a year ago, a 29th place finish for a Region 2. First time that your track program had finished in the top 10, much less top 2. And while you were second behind Lancaster as a team, your 4x4 relay was not. That foursome of Daniel DeJoseph, Austin Parsonage, Malik Golden, and Mark Bresnahan edging out the Tigers by 4/100ths of a second. What a heart-stopping race that was.
Right. Well, it's first of all, I want to speak to the regional runner-up. That's probably the thing I'm most proud of. Yeah, this is our first state appearance in a long time. To get a kid down there, the fact that we got a relay down there, we're very excited about that. But we preach to them every day. We're going to be a good team. You're going to do things well for the track team, and to be runner-up in that regional, that region that we're in is just to me that's what we've been trying to get out of them, and to finally get there, that was my biggest joy of the season. The mile relay, you know, it's one of those things. The first meet, our first practice meet we ran 3:24. And the coaches kind of looked at each other and said, we got something special here. If we can get a hold of them, we continue to get better and get better, we've got something special. Day one of the regionals, we didn't run real well. We ran 3:22 and qualified second, but left us a little concerned going into the last day. But those guys, again, I've said a lot of times, those 4 really stepped up. Daniel DeJoseph ran a heck of a leg out of the blocks. Parsonage kept us right in it. Malik does what he does and closes at the end, and Mark just hangs on. And it worked just like it's kind of worked all year, and we're very, 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 very blessed.
How do you size up the competition now as that 4x4 relay goes for gold in Austin?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, you can't really, you can look at the times and compare them and say, yeah, we're third or fourth going in. we ought to make the medal stand, but I'm smarter than that. It's going to be whoever takes advantage of the last 2 weeks training, whoever has some luck, and hopefully there at the end we'll be up there in the mix.
We talk about the overlap of events at the district meet and
Yes,
the
sir.
regional meet as well. It seems like every member of that 4x4 relay has enjoyed a terrific season in individual events. Right. First, Mark Bresnahan, he wins gold at the district level in both the 400 meters and the 800 meters. In fact, at regional, he was fourth in the 400. Mark suffered a broken leg during the football season, and we all remember that. And you talk about perseverance right off the top. How was he able to move past that injury and achieve this kind of success?
Well, he took care of himself. When the injury occurred, it's funny. I coach football as well, and it was one of those things that when it happened, we never even discussed track because he knew and I knew that he was going to go work hard and he's going to rehab and he was going to be okay. He took care of it. He stayed off it when the doctors told him to stay off of it. And I mean, until you mentioned it before we got one on air here today, I'd forgotten it happened. I mean, by the first day of track season, he was ready to go, and it was like he's been. And the fact that he wins those 3 golds, 400, 800 mile relay, is just a example of his testament to his hard work and what he's done.
And there's something to this, Coach. We know you're a key member of Mike Fetchie's staff during football season, special teams coordinator, linebackers coach, among many other duties. Bresnahan, Parsonage, DeJoseph, all receivers, tight ends for that North offense. And there is such a special connection, there always has been, between football and track. One sport benefits the other, and vice versa. That's always been an emphasis of you and Coach Fetchie.
Yes, sir. And and this is Coach Fetchie's awesome work for in that sense. He, it's not like that everywhere. There's some places that won't share those athletes, or not necessarily discourage it, but won't push them out the door. And Coach Fetchie and our entire staff make sure those guys go out there every day. We tailor our workouts in the morning for those guys. Coach just tells them, you're going to play football, you're going to run track. And if you're not going to run track, you're going to power lift for the bigger guys. But it's something that I know that's special. I hope our kids know that the importance of Coach Fetchie getting us out there. But, without them, we don't have a track team. I mean, it's that simple.
Parsonage also overcame injury. Going back to the fall, he broke his foot, moved past that, and he took home second in the 300-meter hurdles. What do you like most about Austin here on your track team?
Well, and I could say this about a lot of them, but he is probably the most respectful kid, easygoing, and I've used this term a lot, but he's a hard worker, and he loves track, and he was one of our best hurdlers coming back. He was top 5, I think, in district last year. Really one of the favorites going into this district in the 110s, and fell about hurdle number 7 and finished and got up for 8th. He set the school record to 300 hurdles, 38-12, I believe, and has just continued to get better. Had a bad race at the regional meet, got him in lane 8, and ran a good race in the finals, but didn't do what he'd hoped and what we'd hoped. But I mean, all year, for me to tell you last year this time that he'd been on our mile relay, and the hurdler that he is, I would have said great, but I would have maybe said you're crazy too. So wonderful kid. I'm gonna miss him a lot. He's a senior and he's gonna be gone, so we'll miss him a lot.
And I know you'll also miss Daniel DeJoseph. He won the district championship in the 110-meter hurdles. How did DJ do it?
Well, here's the thing. He's been our workhorse. He has gotten better and better and better. There, early on in the year, you talked about the hurdles. He was he was a very good 300 hurdler, but he was always behind Austin by quite a bit. In the 110 hurdles, you had Victor Fincher, and Austin ahead of him, and so he was just he was there. He was on our mile relay. He was just an average leg for a mile relay, but I mean, here he came. Here he came, and he got where, and he closed the gap on Austin to where they were just basically right there with each other. The 110 hurdles, he continued to get better. Again, he'd been 3rd on our team most of the year, and he comes out and wins the district. Pretty incredible. And this year, right now on that mile relay, he's our key. I mean, he's the guy that goes out there, and when he runs it like he can run it, we're in good shape.
Malik Golden also in that 4x4 relay. He is able to claim second in the triple jump at district. He was 5th at regionals. Malik, a late bloomer, but he has made an impact here in his first season on the varsity level.
Right, he has. If you could have, he's always been an athlete. We've always known that. But last year he wasn't necessarily a good track athlete. He was a JV kid, average speed, average ability. But we knew, I shouldn't say average ability, lots of ability, just didn't get it out on the track like we wanted to. This year he came out and just really focused. He's our funny guy. He likes to have a good time, and sometimes we coaches wonder if he's really focused like he should be. But he is, and he was clutch. He was sitting 5th or 4th, I believe, in the triple jump, going up to the last jump, and jumped out there 45.5, I believe, and actually was winning it. And the kid from Wiley overtook him on his last jump. But again, a kid that I would have told you this time last year, probably JV mile relay, for this next year, and he's blown that out of the water, obviously.
It's a story of your team.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, no question.
As for the discus, some of your throwing events, John Ford makes his mark in that event. He was 3rd at district, 5th at regional, right there. Did you expect that from John this season?
We did. We knew that he threw like 134, 135 feet as a freshman last year. Was up for 5th or 6th place at the district meet. So we knew he had potential. Set the school record at our first meet on either his 2nd or 3rd throw of the day. So we knew his potential was. We knew that he's going to be going for us, and he placed top 3 at almost every meet we went to. Had an average district meet, good enough to get 3rd, get to go to regionals, and then he threw real well at regionals, threw back up there in the 150s, and again, he's just a sophomore. So you look at those guys advanced ahead of him. There's mostly juniors and seniors, so we're looking forward to him maybe coming down there, getting to Austin next couple of years, hopefully.
Meanwhile, in the pole vault, Daniel Barrientos does not place at district, but he does set a school record in that event for you.
Yes, he does. He's a good kid, great kid, works hard, loves the pole vault. And in fact, he's kind of our coach down there. He knows a lot about it. He's one of those kids that kind of picks up on things quick, encourages the other kids. But, yeah, he set a school record early on in the year for us in the pole vault. And, again, he's another sophomore. So we're looking forward to him as well.
Matt, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you so much.
You got it. Matt Bilyeu, head coach of the North Bulldogs. Yes, you hear that. Sophomore. So many athletes coming back. The long-term future is brightened. So is the short-term future as North heads to the state championships, Class 4A in Austin.